In a quiet room, beneath a trembling bulb, a young woman sits, her tears falling like rain, but in silence. They called it a home, safe, warm, loving. But behind the perfect walls, a nightmare lived, and it wore the face of her stepfather. "Don't tell anyone," he whispered, "especially your mother." Aisha was a bright, ambitious 20-year-old woman with dreams of becoming a lawyer. She lived with her mother, Mrs. Linda, and her wealthy stepfather, Mr. Patrick, in a luxurious house in Lagos. To outsiders, they looked like a picture-perfect family. But behind those grand walls, Aisha endured a nightmare. It started with lingering touches that made her uncomfortable, his hand brushing her shoulder too long, a gaze that felt invasive. One night, she walked past the living room, and he called her over. "Come sit beside me," he said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. When she hesitated, he patted the space next to him, insisting. The moment she sat, his arm wrapped around her waist. "You're growing into a beautiful woman," he whispered, leaning in too close. Aisha froze, her heart beat loud in her ears. That was the first time. From there, it escalated. He began entering her room at night, always locking the door behind him. He would whisper threats in her ear, pressing her down, his weight stealing her breath. "You tell anyone, especially your mother, and I swear no one will believe you. You ruin everything," he snarled. His voice was calm but venomous. Once, Aisha tried to fight back. She screamed. He slapped her across the face and hissed, "Next time, I won't be so gentle." That night, she curled into a ball in the corner of her room, wishing for escape. Every day became a battle to survive. Aisha couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She wore baggy clothes and avoided eye contact. Her mother noticed the change but brushed it off as youthful mood swings. Meanwhile, Mrs. Linda grew more flamboyant in her lifestyle. She flaunted her designer handbags, luxury trips, and flashy jewelry, all gifts from Mr. Patrick. She spent her days in spas and at high-end boutiques, boasting about her good fortune. Finally, when the pain became too much to bear, Aisha confided in her best friend, Joy. They sat on the back steps of Joy's house as the sun set. "He's been doing it for months, Joy." "I didn't know how to tell you," Aisha sobbed. Joy clenched her fist. "You have to speak out. He's a monster. You can't let him keep doing this. You need to tell your mom." Summoning all her strength, Aisha decided to tell her mother. But Mr. Patrick was one step ahead. That same morning, he approached Mrs. Linda and fed her lies. "Your daughter's becoming a problem," he said gravely. "She's been coming on to me, dressing inappropriately, trying to tempt me. I didn't want to worry you, but it's getting out of hand." When Aisha spoke, her mother exploded with rage. "You seducing your stepfather? After everything he's done for us? Shame on you." Aisha's tears fell, but her mother turned away, choosing comfort over truth. Then came the night that changed everything. Mrs. Linda forgot her phone in Mr. Patrick's room and returned unexpectedly. She opened the door and froze. Mr. Patrick was pinning Aisha down on the bed, his hand over her mouth. "What are you doing?" she screamed. Aisha sat up, gasping for breath, thinking this was it, her mother would finally fight for her. But Mrs. Linda shut the door slowly, her face pale. She stood in silence for a moment, then said coldly, "Aisha, listen to me. You will not speak of this again. Do you know how much this man gives us? If you ruin this, we'll lose everything." Aisha's heart broke. Her own mother had just witnessed the horror, and still chose to protect her abuser. That night, Aisha ran away to Joy's house. But not before she did one thing. She took her phone and recorded the conversation with her mother. She kept it as her proof, her silent weapon. Joy's parents took her in and treated her like their own. They supported her education, giving her the love and structure she had been starved of. Over the next 5 years, Aisha worked hard, graduated with honors, and passed the bar. She became a lawyer, strong, confident, and unshakable. Meanwhile, Mrs. Linda began hearing of Aisha's success. She saw her daughter's name in newspapers, television programs, and social media: rising star, top attorney, young women's advocate. The shame and envy burned within her. Desperate to reclaim the daughter she had abandoned, she approached Joy's parents. "You people have turned my daughter against me. Give her back to me or I will charge you with kidnapping," she yelled. Joy's father stood up, calm but firm. "You? What kind of mother are you? You watched your husband ruin her and you said nothing. You threw her away for handbags and weekend trips. Now you want her back because she's successful. Get out." Joy's mother added, "You lost your daughter the day you chose luxury over love. You don't deserve her." Mrs. Linda stormed away, humiliated. Still not giving up, she finally appeared at Aisha's mansion, a gleaming estate surrounded by exotic cars. She gasped, stunned by the life her daughter had built without her. "My baby, you've done well for yourself," she said, stepping closer. "I'm so sorry for everything. I was confused. I didn't know what to do." Aisha burst into laughter. "Do you think I'm still that little girl you could silence? Where were you when I needed you? Where were your designer shoes, your vacations, your precious jewelry then? You let him ruin me. And now that I'm someone, you want to crawl back in? No." Her mother cried and begged, but Aisha shook her head. "Don't cry yet. You and your husband should wait for my payback." Shortly after, police arrested both Mr. Patrick and Mrs. Linda. In court, the tension was thick. Spectators murmured, journalists scribbled notes. Mr. Patrick's lawyer painted Aisha as a bitter, manipulative woman with a grudge. Mrs. Linda sobbed dramatically, playing the grieving mother. When Aisha took the stand, her voice was steady. She recounted everything: the first touch, the threats, the betrayal. Then, she played the recording of her mother's cold-hearted words. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. The judge's gavel struck hard. "Order!" Mr. Patrick's face crumbled. Mrs. Linda wept uncontrollably. But Aisha stood tall. The court sentenced Mr. Patrick to 50 years in prison. Mrs. Linda received 5 years for aiding and abetting. In prison, Mr. Patrick quickly lost his sense of superiority. His fellow inmates knew what he had done. He was shunned, humiliated, and beaten regularly. He wrote letters begging Aisha for forgiveness, pleading to see her, but she never responded. After serving her sentence, Mrs. Linda was released. Joy's parents gently informed Aisha. "Your mother is out now," Joy's father said. "We think you should make peace, but it's your choice. We won't tell you what to do." Aisha nodded. "Thank you for everything. I'll handle it." One morning, Mrs. Linda came to Aisha's mansion once again. She was older, frail, and humbled. "Please, give me another chance," she cried. "I have nothing left." Aisha looked at her, emotionless. "I will get you a small apartment. I'll make sure you don't suffer. I will be sending you money and foodstuff for your upkeep. But I don't want to ever see you again. You remind me of everything I fought to escape. If I want or need to see you, I will come to you myself." In the final scene, Aisha was surrounded by Joy and her loving parents, celebrating her law firm's anniversary. Laughter filled the room, glasses clinked in toast, and for the first time, she truly smiled. Her scars remained, but they no longer controlled her. Aisha had reclaimed her life, and through her voice and courage, she gave others the strength to rise from silence and fight for justice.